You guys, man, we back at this crap again. You guys with the speculations running wild, allowing people to take you off your pivot, allowing people to move you this way and that way. I explained to you before what digital life is and what stuff is and what's happening, but none of you guys seem to get it. You seem to be slow, dense, or both. Xbox handheld. Let's talk about it. Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Yo, today, like, follow, and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Hit the notification button. Yeah, do I sound kind of annoyed? Yeah, of course I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with you guys. You know, I'm seeing people on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you're doing, whatever the hell it's called, Elon. Name change was crazy, but I'm glad that you picked X because dude's favorite thing to play is X, them port begging ponies. Somebody thought that I was a little wishy-washy with my message to you dudes. All right, for the ignorant ones, because a lot of you got it. A lot of you ignorant dudes didn't get it. You don't understand what it means to, with corporate, with business, where somebody that's never ever going to go to your establishment, you have to figure out a way to get them to your establishment. And a lot of times is you got to bring the establishment to them. What Uber Eats did was it facilitated the ability to be everywhere at all times, right? And allowed them to bring different items from various different places to the individual's place. Now, I know you're saying, King, what the hell does Uber Eats have to do with this conversation? Uber Eats has everything to do with this conversation because I got to dumb it down for a lot of the dummies that infiltrate our circumference. Now, I'm not talking about the enlightened ones. I'm not talking about you high thinking individuals. I'm talking about the slow rocks. I'm talking about the slow movers. I'm talking about the dude that doesn't catch the joke immediately, then laughs 2 weeks later. Like, it was so fun. Yeah, this individual, this is for you. You're never leaving your PlayStation. You're never going to leave your PlayStation. How do I get your money? Right? The goal is, how do I get your bread? How do I dig into your pockets? How do I make you a custy? And I'm pretty sure that Microsoft thought long and hard on this question because the old rules still doesn't apply anymore. What y'all fail to realize, we are now in a way digital age. The physical era is over. And this is coming from a person that has nothing but physical stuff around him. You know, the biggest problem that I have right now is the fact that I have Amazon, a Kindle, right? I have a Kindle. And Comixology is on that. What happened was comic books priced me out when it became $5 a book. I come from 25 cents, 2 cents a comic book, 1 cent comic books. I have 1 cent comic books. I have 2 cent comic books. I came from that era when comic books was 25 cents, 50 cents, right? And as we became more financially inclined, it went up. Now books is like $5. If I don't do a trade paperback, I'm not going to read that storyline. And I kind of fell off with all the woke nonsense and all the crap that they did put in it. Not woke, feminist agenda, right? And inclusive behavior started infiltrating the books. Books was all about fighting between heroes and villains, trying to save something and trying to make a difference here. That's it. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about anything that has anything to do with that. That's why I don't do it. But Comixology infiltrated my home. I stopped purchasing. My Kindle allows Marvel and DC for a small fee for me to read those books. And it's all digital. It feels dirty, disgusting. I don't own anything. I love my physical books. I have 62,000 books. I love my physical books. I go and crack them open every so often and just sit down and read and get lost in the wonderment of yesteryear. Much like a lot of you individuals that have old consoles with cartridges and stuff like that, y'all go plug your consoles up, do whatever you got to do to get it to work on these new televisions, and you do so. And that's how you live in your nostalgia, that physical. Some people can't let go of the physical, i.e. myself. All right, but I'm forcing this digital era. Back to Uber Eats. Microsoft is sitting there trying to figure out how do we get the PlayStation customer, because they're never going to come over. They're never going to walk on this side of the street. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They were never going to purchase your product because they already made their digital home here. You have to find a way to infiltrate that. And infiltrating that takes long, hard thought into what games will be going in that area. Once Microsoft purchased ABK, once they purchased ZeniMax, these thought processes changed, right? It started with ZeniMax. Now, what you don't understand with ZeniMax is that Todd Howard and the team over at Bethesda, they make wonderful games. And a lot of their games are going to be on PlayStation until Microsoft came in and effectively canceled all those games. So Phil stood tall and he did do what he said he was going to do. Nothing for PlayStation, right? So all you guys talking about Phil never lived up to his promise, don't spin a narrative to fit your agenda. The ZeniMax games didn't do what they were going to do over there. He effectively cut them. I would love for y'all to get Redfall, and y'all would like it. You port begging ponies don't have anything, and you will love it. The problem is right now, Microsoft is pushing in a different direction. Now, this handheld is looking like something special. I was in Best Buy today and I went past the ROG Ally area. To be honest with you, seriously, I mean, side note, in Best Buy, I'm going inside Best Buy and I'm going through the TV section and the phone section and all that other stuff. Everything is way more robust than our video game section. But I get to the video game section. I did not know that Facebook Meta has their own section, right? And the Oculus is actually present. And then there's a whole VR section that they have there that kind of dwarfs the video game section. Nintendo has one little shelf. Xbox has one little shelf and PlayStation has one little shelf with a bunch of collectibles that's all around. PC has a larger presence inside these big electronic stores than our once mighty video games. And that kind of drove home the point. So I get over to the ROG Ally area and I'm thinking of the Microsoft handheld. And as I'm standing there, somebody walks in and they purchases the ROG Ally. And he was like, "Hey man, do you have one?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you think of it?" I said, "Well, the interface for me is a little bit cumbersome, and because it runs Windows 11, and it's not really made for video games, but it does have Gamepass on it, and you can do a couple of things on it, but it's very powerful. But it's like the power of a PC in your hand." And he's well versed in PC stuff because he obviously understood exactly what I was talking about. And he said, "Oh, well, it really works for me." He said, "But how does the games look when you play them?" I said, "Oh, top notch. You tweak and twerk a whole bunch of other stuff, but it's top notch." And that thing sold. It sold to him because he was able to do what he wanted to do with this device. And that brings me to Xbox handheld. Xbox handheld might be a little more of a Trojan horse than we think it is. It might be the Uber Eats of a situation that allows everybody's interface to work on their native device, that has a better user interface than the ROG Ally with the same exact power. Imagine this. Imagine you having an Xbox handheld that has all the stores, Epic Store, Steam, Xbox. Let's play with it, right? Pause. PlayStation app, Nintendo app, and this thing can play it all. What would you do? What would be your thought process? Would you purchase this device? Would this device kind of take over your central hubbing and gaming? These are things that I'm thinking about. And before I even go any further, everybody that super chatted for the last video, I'm going to read those super chats the next video. I was supposed to read those super chats this video. I didn't get a chance to read those super chats this video because I was playing Skull and Bones with Attic on Attic Arena. Go check it out. Go see it. It's fun. I'll talk about Skull and Bones in the next video. That's dope. But I'm telling you, right now, we are at a point in video games where video games in the Xbox ecosystem is going to be dispersed across all platforms. Is it something that I want? I want Kong dead. Don't ever get it twisted. I want Kong dead. You have people talking about Xbox influencers, Xbox fan base doesn't have a voice. I want Kong dead. But what happens when Microsoft doesn't? What happens when Microsoft wants the fan base? They're already getting boatloads of cash from mobile. What happens when Microsoft themselves, not Xbox, because I'm pretty sure there's a ton of people at Xbox that want to kick the, and I'm talking about figuratively, I'm talking about, because they look at it as sports teams, whereas we look at it differently. Step out of yourself. Look at the broader picture. You cannot get somebody that was never ever going to go inside your store to go inside your store. You got to find a way to bring the store to them. I'm thinking this is Microsoft gamble on bringing the store to you. We know what Gamepass is. Spoke to a PlayStation dude that doesn't understand why I like Gamepass or why I like Xbox. And me trying to explain it to him really isn't going to work. He came over to my house and then he saw Quick Resume. Now, I think I told this story before, but Quick Resume was a game changer for him. And he went out and brought a little man because he was like, this is what they promised me that the SSD was going to be like on the PlayStation 5. And he was like, I didn't understand why you was clowning me. And I was just like, it's really software tricks. Shout out to Jason Ronald and the team. You did a wonderful job with the Series X and S. I believe that it was phenomenal. But this is the part in the video where I dropped that catchphrase. And y'all know what it is. Wait a second. Something dropped inside Game Pass today. Resident Evil 3 dropped in Game Pass today. Go check it out. Now, if you've never played Resident Evil 3, I played Resident Evil 2, the remake. This is Resident Evil 3, the remake. And spot on stuff. Really good stuff. If you're a Castle, I want some Castlevania, new Castlevania. If you're a Capcom fan, Resident Evil fan, go check it out. It's there. Game Pass is doing it up. They've been doing it big this whole year. You know what to do. You know where it's at. try to play the Game Pass.